Hi everybody, it's Patty Davis with Crooked Tree Creations. Hopefully I'm vertical now instead of horizontal like I was 15 minutes ago. I want to show you how I make this sunflower wreath. Okay, I've had several people ask me how I did it and everything. They wanted me to do a tutorial. I've done some classes with my friends and showed them how to make it. You know, we had a great time. I call them my drunken wreath parties. But, so anyhow, I want to show you, first of all, I use a 12-inch wire wreath form. Okay. I already put this plastic canvas in there. I will show you, it comes in this big square. I got it from Joanne Fabrics. There's a 7 mesh and then there's a 5 mesh. You get it in the yarn section at Joanne Fabrics. And basically you just cut a hole, you trace it out from the middle of it, cut out a hole, and then you use zip ties and tie it on in. So it's nice and simple. So anyhow, there's that, okay? I use poly burlap mesh. I will show you, this is the green, it's a lime green that I use for the leaves, okay? It's better than regular mesh. It kind of handles a little bit better than regular mesh. Of course, it's more expensive, but I love the way it handles. So, I will actually show you what I do. I cut the mesh with a wood burning tool. If you can see, that's the tip I use. Okay, I'll just show you real quick with this. I already have it open. I do the green in 12 inches and I do the yellow in 10 inches. Okay, so, and you have to use a glass cutting board, otherwise you'll totally ruin your mat. But, and you probably should wear a mask. Shh, I don't, because you will see you get a little bit of smoke coming up when you do this. I don't know if you just saw that smoke coming up from there, but it cuts right through it. It doesn't fray that way when you use the wood burning tool. Okay, but there's that, and let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you right on here. You need to use zip ties. I like to use that instead of using pipe cleaners. And for now, what we do, you got the first rung, second rung, third, and fourth. Okay, I don't use this first rung at all. We put like right on that crossbar right there. Okay, you put the first zip tie, and I just kind of start it just a little bit just to kind of get it going. I'm going to move this cutting board out of the way and take this piece of green mesh, okay, have it kind of rolling towards you. Take one corner and take the other corner and kind of put it together, okay? Then we just scrunch it up right there in the middle so it looks like a bow tie. Then we just kind of put it together like this and stick it on into my zip tie. And when you're done, you can just adjust it, kind of get it where you want it to go. It actually does kind of help. Yeah, it goes where you want it to go usually. Okay. And I do that with the leaves first. I put them all on this crossbar, second rung up. Okay. Let's see. Again, you got to have it like a bow tie. Get it to go up. And of course, I didn't put my zip tie on first. It's one of my things that I do. I always forget to put the zip ties on first. And if you are a little picky, you can, you want to try to make sure that your zip ties are all facing the same way and stuff like that. But you know what? If it doesn't face the same way, it's not like it's going to ruin it by any means. Okay? And just keep going around. And just so you know, I initially learned how to make these sunflower wreaths by getting on YouTube. I found several tutorials, but the one that I'm actually going off of the most, I mean, there's little tweaks here and there, but not many, was from Julie's Wreath Boutique. She, it was the cheapest way, I think, of doing it. Plus, I actually just really liked the way she did it. So, I kind of want to give her a little shout out for having this, and she has some really good tutorials on there, so you might want to check her out too. So how is everybody tonight? If anybody's commenting, I can't see any comments, so I apologize. Okay, one last leaf. Just an FYI too, with these zip ties, if you're not used to working with zip ties, it's kind of funny. A lot of my friends, whenever I did taught them, I taught them at my one friend's house, people were putting them in the wrong way. And it was going, you would put it in and it comes right back out. You got to make sure you put it in the flat end. Okay? Just an FYI. Oh, thanks, Rosette. Hi, Danny. How you doing? So I am seeing the comments. Thank goodness. I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to see any. This is my very first live, well, of any kind of substance anyway. Okay, so we got all these on. Okay, I have these clippers here. Now, you can use regular wire cutters. I got these at Lowe's years ago. Well, actually, my husband used these same type of things. Not these exact ones, I promise. He used these for his taxidermy. Needless to say, they cut through anything. So I love these instead of regular wire cutters. I know that sounds really gross, but okay. So there's that, okay? Now I'm going to use this yellow mesh that is cut in 10 inches instead of the 12. Because I did the 12 on the green just to make it stick out a little bit further. You know, just to make sure they're seen. Okay. Well, there I am. I'm starting to put this on. Now what we want to do, still on that second rung, okay, we're putting 2 petals in between the leaves. Okay. I'm trying to go a little quick because it can take a couple hours and I don't want to be on here for a couple hours. No offense. So, I agree, Danny. Sunflowers are beautiful. They're just so happy, right? I mean, there's something that just makes you smile when you see a sunflower. It just makes you happy. Now, I'm not going to do all of this right now. I actually have a one that's partially done, but I just want to kind of give you guys a gist of how I'm doing this real quick, okay? And you'll see why I put that plastic mesh there in the middle, because we got to use it a lot. I wish I had some music in the background. Want me to sing? You don't want me to sing. Are you able to see what I'm doing? Okay. So this is what I have so far, okay? And like I said, you can, kind of rearrange this a little bit and get it a little, straightened out to where you want it to be, okay? Now, I'm not going to do the rest of this, but I am going to show you, I used this third rung, okay? I put this stuff on the second rung, and we're going to put stuff on the third, okay? Now, we don't use the crossbar this time. What I'm doing, I'm putting the zip tie right here in between the leaf and this first petal, but on this third rung, okay? So, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it on that side first. Then I'm going to go to the other side, okay? that in there. And then I'm going to go in between. Oh, you know what I just did? I just totally screwed up. Shh. I just put that on the second rung and not the third. Don't laugh. Okay. I'm trying to go too fast. That's my problem. Okay, there we go. And now, a third one in the middle of that section. Okay. Danny, you said yes. Yes to me singing? Are you crazy? Okay. So now you can see I have 1, 2, 3. Okay, those are on that third rung in that one section. Okay. I'm going to do one more section here, and then I actually have one here that I went ahead and did. How many yellow pieces did you cut? I think altogether I have 60 pieces. 56 of the yellow and only, or I'm sorry, 54 of the yellow and 6 of the green. Okay. Just because, you know, there's crossbars. There's 6 crossbars in a 12-inch wire form. I mean, if you went with a 10-inch, you would only have 5. So, no, the leaves are not on the last ring. I don't use that last ring. I'm going to show you something, a reason why I don't do it. Okay. This is with regular mesh. You know what? But what I tried to show my friends before, and the reason I don't do it, it falls into the back of the, it falls behind. Like, that's not gonna work. But I'll show it with one of these, okay? Like, if I wanted to do this real quick, and I just put it on this outer ring. Sorry. It kind of just drifts around to the back. I'll just do like a quick. And that's, I quit doing stuff with mesh just for that reason. See how just like it flops? And so it kind of helps it to lay flat if you don't use that outer ring. Okay, so there you go. Okay, yeah, I quit doing mesh because I was getting so frustrated because I was using that outer ring, and I'm like, why is this not going right? And it just, I mean, I hated what I was doing, and I just said, you know what, screw it. And I just went with florals. And then a friend of mine, Miss Leanne, I don't know if Leanne's still on here, she actually just recently told me she doesn't use that outer ring. I was like, oh, well, there you go. That's why it wasn't working out for me. So I'll probably end up starting to do a lot more mesh stuff again, because it seems like that's a lot of people are liking the mesh. And I mean, I do too, but I just kind of jumped into floral. So, and I mean, I really do like the florals still though. besides I got so much supplies, I have to kind of stick with it, right? And I'm going to do one more here. So now you can see kind of where I'm going with this, okay? Any questions so far? Well, thank you, Danny. But, so that's that so far, okay? I'm going to, I still have my wood burning tool on. Don't want to get burnt. So this is what I did. That's the second rung and the third rung, okay? And that's how far I've gotten so far with this. Now we have to do 2 more rows of petals. And so for this third row, I'm going to stick it in here, I'd say maybe about an inch up from that 4th rung. And go maybe 2 holes, 3 holes over. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And do the same thing where we just make it look like a bow tie. Okay. Now, to go around there, you go not quite an inch. I would say 3/4 of an inch over. And same thing, just keep going around. You'll probably have, let me see, this one is, I did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I did 15 around there. So, I mean, it'll probably be around 15, 16 times around, petals around there. Okay. I mean, it depends on how close you put them together, right? And if for any reason things, there's a gap or anything, you can, I mean, you can't, once you put the stuff in the center part, like in that plastic canvas, but, in those, along those rings, you can slide them over. You can adjust the petals left or right. And if if there's a little gap, you can fix it very easily. And just a little FYI too, whenever you cut your zip ties down, I mean, you can leave a good 1/2 inch, okay? If you go too far down, you might accidentally get the zip tie to break off completely. So you just want to try to go down enough, but it's being, you can see the second set of leaves covered the first. The third set is covering the second. So nobody's going to see those zip ties. So it kind of works out that way. Well, I see Beth's on. Hi, Beth. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Do you mark the mesh or do you just eyeball it? I eyeball it. Just, so I just kind of, you know, see what how far I can go, and that's about it. You know, it works out. My thing is, if it's not perfect, it still looks nice. You know what I mean? Because nature's not exactly perfect anyway, right? So well, hello, Barb. I see you're on now. How you doing? So here, yeah, this is actually the boring part, having you guys watch me doing this. Putting this also through this plastic canvas is, the zip ties are very tight going through those holes. That's why, like I said, there is a 5 mesh and a 7 mesh. The holes in the 7 mesh are smaller. I think there's supposed to be 7 holes per inch, and then this is 5 mesh, which means there's 5 holes per inch. So the holes are a little bit bigger, and you definitely need the bigger holes in order for these zip ties to fit through. And also it's kind of better, these are 8-inch zip ties that I'm using. Just to like maybe secure that plastic canvas to the wire form in the very beginning, I did use the 4-inch zip ties, just because, you know, I didn't have anything too thick going in between like we have here. I would assume, I haven't tried 6-inch zip ties. I would assume they would work okay, but I have 8-inch. I'm going to use the 8-inch. So now the hardest part of this whole thing, though, which I think is funny, is the center. I was trying different centers because, yeah, I like this center. It's cute. But I thought, I'm going to try to see if there's something a little bit quicker, something a little easier. And like I said, I tried this one, and it's a lot easier, but it just doesn't look nearly as good. I'd rather go with the full burlap look. So, but are you guys able to see good enough what I'm doing here? For those of you who just kind of just jumped on, I am putting some petals on in this plastic canvas that is secured in the middle of a 12-inch wire wreath form. And unfortunately, this takes a while. And I hope I'm not boring you. If I can find a faster way on how to do this, I'd do it. But you know, at the same point, you still want it to look halfway decent, so you don't want to go too fast. So I have to tell you, people who know me and like knew me all the way back in high school, I used to burp a lot. I don't know why. I don't know if there's something wrong with my gut or what. But just before I started doing this, I had a taco salad. And I'm thinking that's not what I should be eating before I do a live video. I was afraid I was going to be doing all kinds of burping. But I'm doing okay so far. Okay, Danny says, I tried half a styrofoam ball and painted brown and added black stones and beads, hot glued them on. The sun was hot and it fell off. Uh-oh. I did a flower before where all I did was use a half a styrofoam ball and I just painted it. I didn't put anything else on it. But the flower that I did was just like, it was a regular mesh. And this was several years ago when mesh wasn't working very well with me. And I ended up, it just, the petals collapsed. They all like fell forward and nothing stayed well on it or anything. So I just pitched it. I just got so frustrated with it. But this hasn't collapsed yet. But the beads look like they would be pretty. I'm sure that it probably looked great to begin with. I wish I had this one kind of partially done too. And I was actually thinking about just kind of starting the center for you, but I didn't have just one kind of partially done, and it probably would, I don't want to cheap out on you. I want you to see in real life how I do it. And if I screw up, I screw up. I have to admit, with this burlap center, I got a little bit of glue on the burlap, and I was like, oh, it'll come off. I scraped at it, and scraped at it. It doesn't come off. So I guess maybe if I got glue on it right, and I had something to wipe it with right then and there, it might work. But once it's dry, that glue's staying, and it just kind of frustrated me. Oh, well, hi, Vicki. I just now see that you're on here. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Vicki is also another fellow wreath maker. I actually met Vicki online in a wreath group, and found out she lives 10 minutes away. I'm like, hey. So we ended up meeting at a local fair that we just happened to be at right around the same time that we had met online. So kind of worked out. And Vicki makes some wonderful wreaths also. Now I know you quit there for a while, but you're back at it now, aren't you? at least part-time. Okay, I think I'm gonna have one more after this. And I do have to say one thing too. I don't, if you saw me cutting that first piece with the wood burner, when you use, when you cut mesh with a rotary cutter, it goes pretty quick. You could probably get a whole roll cut, I mean, I'd say within 15 minutes. Yeah, I figured it was in your blood. But, so, within about 15 minutes, you can probably get a whole roll cut. Using a wood burning tool, it's at least 20 minutes. Just because you got to be a little bit more careful with it and just kind of got to go a little bit slower. So, but it's definitely worth it. Like I said, it doesn't fray nearly as much when you use a wood burning tool. And if you missed, which that actually is a little fray mark. If you missed me cutting, that's the edge that I use with my wood burning tool. So I have it turned off now. Thank goodness. If I would have forgot, I'd probably be placing things on top of it and it would be burning up. So, okay, so that's the last one for the third row of petals. Okay, so now you can see here. Now what I am going to do for the center, I'm just going to show you real quick what I use for the center. I use this 5-inch styrofoam disc, okay? Now if we just did that right here, you're still going to see like the end, this end of the petal. And we don't want that. So that's why we have to go even further in, okay? So, and you're only going to end up doing about maybe 6 of the ones on the inside. Simply because it's, you know, like I said, you just go about another inch in. And I apologize for, I can just see my phone's kind of wiggling when I start doing stuff on the table. I got it on a separate table so it wouldn't jiggle. It looks like it's jiggling. Okay. So you can see kind of that one that I just put in, it's just about another inch from the other ones, okay? Like I said, you really don't end up using too many of these. Just because, I mean, the closer, you know, further in you go. Now, like, if you ended up using like a 10-inch form instead of a 12-inch, you're obviously going to use less mesh. Here I use almost 2 rolls of the yellow mesh, because you figure, okay, 10 inches each out of, you know, there's what, 30 feet in an entire roll, so that's close to 36 per roll that you would cut out of there. Sometimes it's, you know, usually a little less because I end up cutting mine, you know, about 10 and a half. So, so when you do that, yeah, you end up doing about, you know, almost 2 rolls of the yellow. Obviously, you only use 6 feet worth of the green out of 30, so you're good with the green. But yeah, if you only used a 10-inch form instead of a 12-inch, you probably still would end up being more than 1 roll. It would be closer to a roll and a half, maybe a little bit less. But I never did the math. Okay, what size is the frame I'm using now is a 12-inch. The tutorial that I went off of, that I found on YouTube, I'm going to mention it again. It was Julie's Wreath Boutique. I actually found her on Facebook and everything too. I'm part of her group. And she uses a 10-inch. I actually prefer the 12. I think it's a good size. I like the size of it. So I never did try the 10. I actually couldn't find a 10. Because, you know, Craft Outlet was out of them. I looked on, you know, some of the wholesale sites and everything. I couldn't find any 10-inch. So I just went ahead and went with the 12. And I like the size of it. So, and that's probably, you know, any more that I make, I'll probably stick with it. So yeah, you'll need 2 rolls when you make your wreath. Okay, 2 rolls of the yellow, and then 1 of the green. And I got the lime green. Of course, use whatever color you want. I actually bought some more of different colors instead of yellow. And I'm looking forward to trying those out and seeing how they'll work. I got some pink. I got purple, blue. Yeah, Dollar Tree has 14-inch. And I think, you know, 14-inch will work. 16, I think you might start to be getting a little too big if you went with a 16-inch. Just because, you know, you figure it'll, you know, you're getting into between 28 to 30 inches around. And, okay, I have different colors too. Yeah. Well, I hope it goes well for you. If you have any questions, you know, you could always message me, or if you still have my phone number, you could text me. Okay. And is there a section of yellow petals? So there's 4. Yes, I'm on the 4th row of petals right now. So yes, and this inner row of petals, I'm only using what? There's 1, 2, 3. I'm on the 5th one. I'm going to do 6 altogether on this inner row. I'll show you real quick. Yeah, if you ask me that what takes the longest time is this center. I mean, yeah, this takes a while, but it's repetitive, and it's actually more relaxing, I think. Well, Vicki, you were more than welcome to ask me anything you need. Okay. actually, I really enjoy teaching. If you know of anybody that wants to do like a local class, I would love to do that. I would think that would be a blast. Right now I've only done, my friends, my close friends. We went to a friend's house and just did it there. And we had a blast. So, but okay. So this is how far we've gotten. Okay, did you mention where you got your mesh? I got my mesh at Craft Outlet. So, they have it at, let me think, Trendy Tree. I can't think of the other places that have it. But I have not been able to find them at Joann Fabrics, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I cannot find this type of mesh. It's called a poly burlap mesh. But yeah, you can see how far in I got. Like I said, I'm using this disc, and that's going to cover that up. Okay? So, we are done with this for now. And let's see. I have to plug in my glue gun. Okay. Get that ready. And for this center, I am using this 4-inch brown burlap. Okay, you can see I already kind of cut that, and it's at an angle, and I don't want to have it at an angle. Okay, because I don't. This is already used. You could probably get 3 centers out of one roll. It's a 5-yard roll. So there you go. What we're going to do, if you can see this, I'm going to start at the corner and roll it in. Start making a rope. Okay? You can see that's like a little rope. And then I have these floral pins. Okay? And I'm going to pin this in the center. And you kind of have to go at an angle, because if you go straight down, it's going to go through. You don't want it to go through, so you kind of go at an angle. And I will have to say, you're probably going to laugh at me as I'm doing this, because it really does, getting the pins through the burlap can get really tough. Sometimes I'll be pushing so hard and it ends up bending the pin. So, okay. So here I go. Start spinning. I'm going the wrong way. I apologize, people. Okay. So, yeah, that's hot enough. Basically with this, you glue as you go around from the center on out. Okay. And you kind of keep rolling this burlap. And this is whenever it's kind of good to have a partner to undo the burlap as you spin it around. But kind of twist it in and keep going around. If you can see how I'm going around in a spiral. Okay. Just keep going around. And yeah, this takes a while, unfortunately. And I apologize for the camera. Keeps jiggling. Okay. I'm not making you dizzy, am I? With the jiggling. And like I said, just try every once in a while, go in with a pin. And you gotta do it from the side because you don't want to put it up on top because you don't want the pin showing, right? So you got to go in from the side and try to get it through this mesh, the burlap, which can be stubborn sometimes. And I know they sell, like the craft outlet has centers that you can actually buy. Vicky said that she actually bought some. And I haven't tried that yet. I actually looked today to see if I could buy a center. And they were out of the dark brown. They had a lighter brown. I might go ahead and try that. But in the meantime, this is actually good and cheap. I mean, you figure these discs I got at Dollar Tree, and they come in a pack of 2 for $1. So 50 cents for that. This burlap roll is $4.50, and you can get at least 3 centers out of it. So it's fairly cheap. Those centers though from Craft Outlet, I think they were only like $2.50. So be a lot cheaper. I mean, like, you know, almost as cheap. Not as, I don't know. This is tedious, is what I call it. And you know what? I gotta get another thing of glue. And of course I put the glue sticks away from me. I'll be right back. Okay. I kind of wish I did have one partially done for you so you didn't have to watch me do this, all this. It just takes too long. But I think this is pretty. I love this spiral look, right? And yeah, this was whenever I was teaching my friends, we had partners to unroll the burlap as we were going around. Makes it a lot easier to have someone there helping you do that. By the way, what time is it? I'm just curious of how long this has taken me, because I don't even have a clock around me. Okay. 8:56. Okay, so we're almost an hour. That's not too bad. So I'm gonna go a little bit over an hour with this, because you figure once this is done, we're done. Okay. Oh, that's funny, all three of you. 8:56. And if you don't have a glue gun, I usually use this E6000 whenever I do my floral wreaths, just because I was always afraid that the heat from from the sun would would melt the hot glue and not keep anything on. So I started using that instead. But the professionals, I mean, people who have been doing this for a long time, they all use the hot glue. So I'm thinking, if the professionals use hot glue, I guess I can too. Because it dries a lot quicker. That E6000 takes a while to dry. And it has a little smell. Rosette, I agree. I like this burlap. I mean, like I said, I was trying to see if I could find something that was a little quicker than this, but nothing worked out right. I mean, this other one, I think it's a cute idea. I mean, it looks nice, but the colors, I don't like the colors with the yellow. Maybe if I did a different, like maybe if I did blue or something like that, that would look cute. So, and I could show you how I did that whenever I do that one, right? Yeah, I was just doing an experiment earlier on tonight and came up with those. They weren't necessarily quicker. Well, hey, I take that back. They were quicker. They were much quicker. But not necessarily easier. We'll just say that. Because this is actually pretty easy. It's just time consuming. Okay, I'm getting to like the outside of this styrofoam. Okay, one more. And once I get to the outside, I will show you the best thing to do. I agree, Danny. It is good therapy. Okay. I'm telling you, this burlap just does not want to let those pins through sometimes. And what I would like to do one of these days, I want to measure out just how much I use in one of these centers, because it would probably be easier if I cut it and then did it. But with my luck, I would end up cutting it like 5 inches too short. Ouch. Ooh, I first burn. I was doing so good too. Okay. So I'm going to pin this here. Can get it through. See, I'm already bending the pin. It just doesn't like to go through there. Okay. Darn. Okay. It totally bent the pin. I must have really strong thumbs. Okay, this one's going through. Now you can see it still has the white, okay, on the edge. We don't want that white showing, okay? So what I like to do is kind of take this and kind of get it into a third, you know, like 3, like fold it over 3 times. Okay. And start going around. It's still gluing. Gluing and pinning. Kind of want to go in Can you see what I'm doing there? And here I kind of like to do the pins a little bit more on this edge, just because it's a little more secure than just this glue. Almost to the edge here. Okay. Now we got to the end here. Okay. And what you want to do is kind of bring it around to the back. Now you can see I actually have a couple pins showing. I wasn't supposed to have a couple pins showing, but at least they're not too far in there. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Okay. just kind of bring this kind of just across here. Okay, and pin it one more time. Okay, so it's secured on. There you go. Okay, now I am just going to use, I haven't done this before. I usually use regular wire, but I'm going to try this, just using a pipe cleaner. Okay, take a couple pins here, right on top of that. And secure that in. Okay, so you got these, this is kind of secured that way. Okay, get my wreath. And what we're going to do is stick this down and through. Okay. Like I said, I normally use just a regular green wire, but I thought, you know what, I have all these pipe cleaners. I'm sure the pipe cleaners will work. And by golly, it works. Just kind of secure it down. And voila! There we go. My finished sunflower. What do you guys think? Now, you want to see the back? Look how nice and neat that looks. Now, usually when people, when you use all of the pipe cleaners on this instead of zip ties, those pipe cleaners are all over the place and you have to cover it with felt or whatever, in case somebody's using if they have a glass door, they could see the back of it, so you want to cover it. You almost don't have to cover this. It actually doesn't look too bad, right? I mean, you still can cover it. It wouldn't hurt, but I don't think it looks too bad. So there we go. I think we're done. So, okay, everybody. I think I'm going to sign off. Thanks for hanging out with me. It did take a little over an hour, but hey, I got my first real live done, so I'm happy. And again, I'm Patty Davis, Crooked Tree Creations, and I hope to see you again. I'm so glad you guys came by. I'll see you later. Bye.